For decades, computers were basically just fancy calculators, right? They did exactly what we told them to do and nothing more. But now, well, something really incredible is happening. They're starting to learn, to communicate, to create in ways that we used to think were uniquely human. This is generative AI, and it really is going to change just about everything. So let's dive in and figure out how you can not just survive, but actually thrive in this new age.
Here's the best way I've heard to think about this. Just imagine, right now, you have Albert Einstein living in your basement. Except this isn't just Einstein. It's Einstein combined with every other brilliant person who's ever lived, and they have instant access to all of human knowledge. That's what this technology gives each of us. It's a personal superbrain, just waiting for instructions.
And this slide right here really shows you the massive leap we've just taken. We've gone from machines that are really, really good at math to partners that can be genuinely creative. They don't just process information anymore. They generate totally new, original stuff. This isn't just an upgrade, it's a fundamentally new kind of tool for humanity.
Okay, so let's get properly introduced to this personal Einstein, because to really unlock its potential, you've got to understand what this new superpower of yours can do, and, just as importantly, what it can't do.
This AI has this really fascinating mix of superhuman power and some very human-like flaws. Your Einstein can instantly become a poet, or a doctor, or a business coach, and it will never, ever get tired of your questions. But, and this is a big but, just like a person, it can make stuff up. It can get things wrong. It can misunderstand you. And that means its biggest limitation is often just our own ability to communicate clearly with it.
All right, before we go any further, let's just quickly clear the air on some of the jargon you hear being thrown around everywhere. I promise, once you get these few terms down, the rest of this whole world becomes a lot less confusing.
First up, artificial intelligence, or AI. Now, this is not new. In fact, this is the big, broad umbrella term for making machines smart, and it's been a huge part of our daily lives for years, powering everything from your Google searches to your YouTube recommendations. Now, generative AI, this is the new kid on the block. The key word, of course, is generates. Instead of just finding or sorting information that already exists, this kind of AI creates something brand new, whether that's an email, a piece of art, or even lines of computer code.
So what's the engine making all this happen? Well, for a lot of these tools, it's the large language model, or LLM. Just think of it like an artificial brain that's been trained on a massive, massive library of text and images from the internet, and because of that, it's become incredibly fluent in human language. That fluency is the key that unlocked this revolution for everyone, not just coders.
So how in the world does this engine actually learn to be so smart? It seems impossibly complex, but let's take a quick, non-technical peek under the hood. You might be surprised by the simple principle at its core.
Believe it or not, almost all of this incredible complexity boils down to one simple game. Guess the next word. That's it. At its heart, an LLM is just a hyper-advanced prediction machine. By playing this game billions and billions of times with all that text from the internet, it starts to see patterns, and from those patterns, it starts to understand concepts.
The training really happens in two main stages. First, there's the pre-training. You can think of this like a baby learning to speak just by listening to everything happening around it, just absorbing all the words and patterns. But then comes the really crucial second step, getting feedback from actual humans. This is a lot like training a dog. Thousands of hours of people giving it feedback, reinforcing the good answers and correcting the bad ones, basically teaching it to be helpful and safe.
Okay, so now that we have a feel for how it works, let's look at what it can do, because it is so much more than just a chatbot. This creative toolbox is expanding at a totally mind-boggling speed.
You've got text-to-text models like ChatGPT, which are amazing for writing and summarizing, but then you have text-to-image models that create these stunning, photorealistic images from just a few words. You have text-to-audio models that can compose music, and yeah, even text-to-video is becoming a reality. Basically, if you can describe it, AI is getting to the point where it can create it. The creative doors are just blowing wide open.
And the really big trend right now is smashing all of these capabilities together into single products. They're called multimodal AIs. And what this means for you is that soon you'll be able to work with text, images, and audio all in one place without having to jump between a bunch of different tools. It makes the whole process so much more powerful and seamless.
So, all of this powerful tech naturally brings us to the biggest question of all. What's our role in this?
How do we navigate this new world without getting overwhelmed or, left behind?
Well, when it comes to AI, people seem to fall into one of three camps. You've got denial, people saying, this is a fad, it can't do my job. Then you got panic. Oh no, a robot is going to take my job. Honestly, neither of those is very useful. The winning mindset, the one that puts you in control, is productive partnership, seeing AI as a powerful tool that makes you better, faster, and more creative.
And this is the line you really need to remember. It's not you versus the machine. That's not the competition. The real competition is going to be between people who learn how to use these tools and people who don't. That saying is absolutely true. AI might not take your job, but a person using AI definitely will.
A really healthy way to approach this partnership is to think of your AI as a new colleague. And this colleague is an absolute genius. But they're also a little bit weird. They've got some odd quirks. Sometimes they just make stuff up with incredible confidence. So your job as the human in the loop is to be the manager, to provide the real-world context, to make the final judgment calls, and to know when your genius colleague might be having an off day. So all of this, the partnership, the productivity, the sheer power, it all really hinges on mastering one single skill. It's a skill that's quickly becoming as fundamental as reading and writing. And that skill is called prompt engineering. Don't let the fancy name scare you. It's just the art of talking to your AI. That's it. See, the quality of what you put in, your prompt, directly, and I mean directly, determines the quality of what you get back out. Getting good at this is the absolute key to unlocking this thing's potential.
And here's the difference in black and white. A vague prompt like, help me plan a workshop, well, it's going to get you a generic, pretty useless answer. But look at the detailed prompt on the right. It gives context, it defines the audience and the goals, and here's the pro move. It asks the AI what other information it needs to do a good job. This is how you go from getting basic answers to having a real collaborative partner.
So look, your personal Einstein is down in the basement, just waiting for you. The technology is here, it's ready, and it is way more powerful than most people realize. The only real limit right now is our own imagination. The best way to learn is to just start playing with it. So the only question left is, what mission are you going to give it first?